I'm Matt.
And I'm Steve.
We're car guys all the way. We like V8s, Turbo 4s,
Imports, domestics,
all makes, all models. If it's got a motor, we're in.
and we're going to try and make it go faster.
We've been at this a long time, but we're still finding stuff that we just don't know.
So come with us as we build some cars.
We're going to go talk to the pros,
And we're going to talk to enthusiasts like you.
and together we'll tackle all sorts of projects throughout New England.
We'll show you how they do it
How we do it
and how you can do it in your own garage.
on a budget that hopefully we can all afford. This is Garage X. Real cars,
Real people.
real budgets.
All right, we've got a pretty exciting show for you here on Garage X TV today. Well, it's going to be pretty exciting for me, maybe.
What's that supposed to mean? Why would you say that?
We've got a little adventure planned. Today we're going to go get the parts truck we need for the Garage X shop truck build.
Well, why wouldn't I be excited about that? Tell me more about this truck.
It's a 1979 Ford F-150,
Okay, good truck.
straight six 300.
Isn't that the straight six? It's almost as big as the V8 that was available
Yeah,
on that model?
yeah, it's a
That's
great
an
motor.
awesome motor.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
a great motor. Okay.
More importantly, it's got the 4-speed standard transmission that we want,
Mad Max. Okay, that's good too.
and it's got the Ford 9-inch rear axle in it.
The best rear end ever
Right,
made
and we need
by
that.
man.
Definitely.
Why would I not be excited? Oh, I get it. There's some sort of horrible catch, isn't there? Like the truck is buried up to its door handles in some swamp in Wilton, right?
No, it's sitting in a driveway. It's been sitting a little while.
Oh, what is that supposed to mean? How long is a little while?
10 years.
Did vocational school teach you nothing, Matt? 10 years in New England is an eternity for a vehicle to be sitting.
I think it'll be okay. My plan is we go out to the truck, we
All right.
see if we can get it running,
Okay.
and then if we feel brave enough, we drive it home.
Well, I mean, the vintage of vehicle is conducive to that. I
Yep.
mean, it's carbureted, it's not fuel injected. Maybe we can get away with doing a little bit of old-fashioned American wrenching.
It's
And
a simple motor.
let's hop right into this project. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
All right, so I think the first thing that we should do, see if we can free up the wheels, because it's been sitting a long time. It hasn't moved.
Yeah.
I bet the brakes are just rusted solid on the thing. So if we can free up the wheels, get it to roll on by itself, then we have a chance of being able to drive it. Because if it doesn't roll,
This will be the, we went through all this work to set up this photo shoot for nothing.
So in the field, preparation is everything. And it seems like the number one rule of working in the field is you're going to forget something no matter what you do. We brought a lot of tools with us, a lot of different things to account for the problems that we might come up against. But most importantly is just having a good set of basic hand tools. We brought the air compressor, so we have some limited air tools to help us in this endeavor here. Got our jump pack, some heat.
Yep, you're going to need it. Solid set of jack stands?
Yeah, good set of jack stands. Really important if you're thinking that you don't know what kind of surface you're on. We bring sheets of plywood to set them on so they don't sink into the ground. It gives you a more stable surface. Mag trays.
Oh, also very important. Fire
Yeah.
extinguisher.
Must have.
Just in case. Haven't ever needed it, but you can bring it just in case. A large hammer.
Let's hope we don't need it.
Yeah, it's not a joke. Sometimes you need it, especially working on a truck. Got it?
Having a good sturdy jack helps too.
It's heavy, though. Matt's a very strong man. I would recommend 2 people lifting that item.
so
Very
what we need to do is wedge the front wheels just in case the thing would roll on its own.
Yeah.
And we'll pick the back end up and we can work on the back axle, getting the wheels freed up.
Totally rad, man. All right, let's get to it.
Let's do it.
It's very important to let, when more than one person's working on a repair project, to keep everybody informed as to lifting and lowering or movement of any sort of the vehicle. All right, we're coming up on this one.
Ready? Sure we're centered on the axle. I'm
down.
clear.
And you never want to rely on a jack to hold a car up over your head. So until we have jack stands down, yeah, we don't start work.
All right, so we got the vehicle up in the air. It's in neutral, so these wheels should turn, but they're not going to turn. I kind of figured that was the case. So now we got to get the
drums freed up because they've been sitting a long time. We'll try to do it without having to destroy everything in the process.
But we're gonna have to take the tires off.
Oh yeah, I brought our best friend, PB Blaster, and we'll work on getting it free.
Here,
You want to hit the other side?
Yeah, all right. Let me try this one first. Nope. I want you to know I'm learning so much right now.
I hate you, Steve.
Ew.
It's not pretty.
Nope.
Well, I guess now we're playing rotor golf.
Ooh. Let's see what we can see, huh?
Hey, that looked good.
Yeah, there we go. We can fix that.
Yay!
Well, that's one. We'll go get the next side. Is that gonna give you enough room?
Yes.
All right. Couple of love taps.
I hate it when that happens.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. One's been on there a long time.
So axle spin.
Yeah.
Nice. Mission accomplished.
There we go. Well, I'm actually kind of surprised at how easy these drums came off. You know, as mechanics, we are very hesitant to use a hammer to fix anything. But
Well,
in this
you
case,
are. I'm not.
in this case, it's quite appropriate. When a car sits in one spot for a long time, especially with drum brakes, the shoes, which have a metallic component to them, actually rust and fuse themselves to these drums. So taking them apart becomes very problematic. Getting them to turn later becomes hard to do. So a couple of taps with the hammer. If you don't have to hit it too hard, you can usually free them up and take the thing apart without doing any damage.
All right, let's get this front up in the air. Hey, does this model have front drums or front disc brakes?
No, it's a 79. It's got disc brakes.
Oh.
But I just checked.
Nice. Well, you cheated there. That's good news for us. Less work.
Why don't you catch the suspension perch there,
Sure.
and I'll put one jack stand under the front axle.
10-4.
All right. Ooh,
Ooh, that looks ancient.
that's gorgeous. That shield.
Not no more.
So should probably try to get the calipers off, and then free up the brake pads. See if they'll come off the rotor.
All right, looks like we're doing it the hard way.
All right.
Here we go. You want the pry bar?
Yeah, pry bar and the little orange hammer.
You got it.
So it slides into the bracket,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to slide back and forth. But I'm imagining this is a wedge that.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you think there's supposed to be another caliper bolt here that snapped off?
I don't see a hole for it, so no. Probably just the same part for the other side.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
Alright, so we've hit a little technical snag, huh?
You would never see this on a car show. Never. They always take it apart like, oh, looks like we got a little rust here. And like everything comes apart perfectly because all these car shows are set in like California. Like this could end our day of shooting right here. I'm out of here.
Ooh, I got a little wiggle out of her. While I'm working on the front end of the truck, I'm going to send Steve under the hood. Because it's been sitting, I'm sure the motor's seized
rusted. The pistons are rusted in the cylinders. So we're going to take the plugs out, hopefully, and put a little automatic transmission fluid into each of the cylinders so that as it sits, it has time to work on that rust and free up the pistons. Hopefully we can get this thing to turn over.
All right, so now Matt actually set me to work on the engine. I actually get to do the fun stuff. What I'm going to be doing is removing the spark plugs, kind of checking their condition, and then I'm going to be filling the motor with automatic transmission fluid. Why am I doing that again?
To free up the stuck pistons.
I knew that. To free up the stuck pistons, if they are stuck. After we do that, we're going to go through and do just some basic fluid checks, state of the engine type things, and see if we get this bad boy running. So let's get to it. A better mechanic might have labeled the wires, so the spark plug wires, so we knew which one went to which cylinder for reassembly. I didn't, so I'm just going to have to figure it out later. I used PB Blaster to spray down the spark plugs just to make sure none of them stripped out or, PB Blaster's it's a penetrant. You can use any type of penetrating oil to help you in the disassembly of something that you think might have corrosion or rust. It's a staple of our work here at Garage X. All right, so we got our first spark plug out. This uses a tapered fit spark plug as opposed to one that uses a crush washer like most newer cars. But yeah, let's move on. I'll go ahead and get this bad boy filled up with some ATF. Just a little bit, just a couple of tablespoons of our synthetic automatic transmission fluid, or ATF. You don't want to put too much in the engine, and if you really aren't confident about what you're doing, maybe leave it to a professional, but or have professional supervision like I do. But we're just going to put a tablespoon thereabout in each cylinder. It'll free things up, and kind of an old alchemist's remedy, I guess you'd call it. And that's all you need, just that much. I'll do this with all the cylinders and move on to checking some fluids. It's important when reinstalling tapered fit spark plugs on some cars, namely older ones. It's important only to tighten them about a 1/16 of a turn past when they've completely seated. You don't want to over tighten them and risk breaking them off into the cylinder head. That's just you're gonna have to take the cylinder head off, go to a machine shop. It's gonna be a lot more work. It's gonna cost you a lot of money. So it's important to use that procedure when reinstalling the plugs. You got it?
No, I figured it out. This is a locking tab.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's like a keyway on a crank, right?
Yeah, so the locking tab comes out, and then this.
It comes all the way out?
Yeah, it's going to slide out, and then this can slide up, too.
That's awesome.
I think.
That's actually a pretty cool design.
Hold on, I could be wrong.
Really? That was holding it together?
Yeah, that's how it works.
So I see that was totally easy, Steve. What? That wasn't such a chore now, was it? I bet you could wheel on that thing or just pry on. There we go. It wasn't the rust holding the wheel in place. It was our own ignorance. Those are brand new brake pads.
Ooh, yeah, they're beauties.
So that spins now?
Well, this brake pad is totally frozen onto the...
See you later, brake pad.
Can you hold that caliper for me?
Yes, sir. Now she spins, right? Yay! Harambe!
Just one more.
Yeah, that only took like half an hour.
I got movement.
Nice. That's a good sign.
All right, it's day 2 here on the Ford parts truck project. Last time we were here, we got all 4 of the brakes freed up and we repositioned the truck in the driveway so we have better access to the engine bay. Today, we're going to see if we can get the engine running under its own power, and that's the next step to getting this truck home on its own wheels. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's check the firing order.
All right, unlike the V8 engine, this actually has a clockwise firing order.
Okay.
Starting from cylinder 1.
Cylinder 1.
Next is cylinder 5.
Yep.
3.
Yep.
6.
Yep.
2.
Yep.
4.
Yes.
Back to 1.
Back to 1.
I did it right?
You did it right.
Yes.
Fantastic. Let's pull the battery out and then we can check to see if the motor's free.
Let's get to it.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Steve.
What's up?
Well, amazingly, the motor's free and all the accessories still turn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that because the ATF I treated the engine with yesterday?
Yeah, I think that unlocked the pistons for us, and it's a testament to how good these 300s are.
And it's just better living through chemicals. That's really what this is an example of.
Yeah.
Well, that's all well and good, but what are we going to do now?
Well, let's get the airbox open and see what surprises we have in there,
Ooh.
and we can change the oil.
All right, let's get to it.
Only a couple acorns.
All right, couple of things I'd like to say. One, I got stuck draining the oil, which, as everyone knows, is lame and boring because I'm a little slow on the draw. So Matt got to do the air filter, but I'm dealing with the real horror story, which is what is in the oil pan. This is why I wear a jumpsuit, because I usually end up doing the dirty jobs. People make fun of me. They're like, tee-hee, look at the guy in the jumpsuit. Well, now you know. I'm laughing all the way to the bank because I'm staying clean. All right, let's drain this oil. Oh, hasn't been taken apart in a while. I estimate there's probably about 2 quarts of sludge, burnt coffee in the drain pan. All right, there we go.
Incoming! Oh, it's like empty. That works.
That's a good oil filter.
I'll take a look underneath and see if I'm making a lake.
All right. Looks like we're good under here. I don't see any coolant leaks. I'm coming up.
Yeah, plenty in there.
Awesome. So our oil, our coolant, and our hydraulic fluid for the steering system are all good.
Yep.
And the brake fluid's good for now.
Well, we'll get there when it's time to drive it.
So everything's good for now.
We can jump it and see if it'll start.
Yes. All right.
All right, we're just about ready to fire off this motor, or try to fire off this motor. We've got a temporary gas tank mounted up on the cowl because I want to leave whatever old fuel's in the gas tank back in the gas tank. It's running to the fuel pump down here on the side of the block, and that'll give the carburetor the gas it needs to fire up. We've changed the oil, we've put coolant in it, and we've checked the power steering fluid, so we're ready to give this a try and see what happens. day 3. We're going to wrap up this Ford project today, see if we can drive her home. We got to finish the brake lines, and we've got a fuel system to put back together again.
Well, hold on there. Not so fast, Quick Draw McGraw. Don't we have to put a battery in this bad boy?
Yeah, actually, our friends down at Pine Motor Parts donated a battery for this project, so we've got something to plug in there and drive her home.
12 volts. 14 if the alternator is spinning.
It's spinning. We're going to be replacing the rear axle brake line, or the brake line that comes down the frame to the rear axle. I'm going to try to leave all the other old brake lines intact, see if they'll hold pressure. We may find that when we put this brake line in and pump it up that we create a hole somewhere else on one of these old brake lines, but let's see what happens.
I'm just cutting the line down to the right length.
That's looking cool.
Yeah, go ahead and run it.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to do now that the brake line's run is we're going to open up these rear bleeders that Steve broke free, put some fluid up front in the master cylinder and see if it'll hold pressure.
So we probably have about 3 hours of sunlight, give or take, so as long as we keep moving at this pace, we'll do all right.
This process is a little noisy, but works well. All right, Steve. Give me one pedal pump. Let's see if this thing pushes air.
Alrighty. Holding.
All right, I'm moving to the back.
Holding. Floor.
I think we're good back here. How's it feel?
Pretty good. With each successive press of the brake pedal, I have better brake pressure. I don't know how the brakes are supposed to feel in a 79 Ford, but I think we're getting there.
I think these are going to feel pretty bad, but if we have any pressure at all, it's pretty good.
Well, the fluid is pretty dark. It's supposed to be translucent, but we'll see what happens. Moonshine hooch in the gas tank in the car can't run on that. So we're going to evacuate the gas and then put some fresh high-octane gasoline in the tank. Here we go. Do you think I should take the gas cap off, or does it matter?
Won't matter, it should be vented.
Far out. It might help if this is connected. There we go. Alright, got my O-ring seal. Just like pumping up a bike tire.
Only backwards.
Oh, here we go. Man, this thing works great. Looks like we got some high quality Mountain Dew moonshine. I mean, it's a Saturday night, so we'd use this to make Mai Tais later.
All right, we've got the fuel system hooked back up. We've got all the nasty gas out. Put it in this handy bucket here. I got 5 gallons of fresh fuel to put in the tank to cut down whatever's left in there and run it home on. We've got our donated batteries going in next. We'll hook it up, get the wheels back on, and we're going to drive it home. We ran into a slight problem. Can't get the gas cap off. It's a locking gas cap, at least I think it's locked. It may just be fused. I'm going to try picking it off in lieu of having the key. If that doesn't work, we'll turn to more destructive means. If that didn't work, let's try the next step. Success.
All hands clear. Coming down in the front.
All right, we ready to go?
I think so.
All right, let's see. Gas,
Check.
brakes.
Check.
We got helmets.
Check.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Wait.
What?
We forgot one very important thing.
What?
Royal Pine. All right, let's be civilized about this, okay? We are not indigenous peoples. We do not bathe in the river, okay? Let's have some class doing this the right way.
Real class.
I'm gonna put this. Who needs it anyways?
Nice.
The past is behind us. We want to be facing the future, facing forward.
What if we spin out?
Well, then I guess the past comes back to haunt us, like symbolically.
But we'll smell good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just wear this like right here in my pocket, and then if you want to smell it, you can. Yeah. So we're good to go. Fire up.
Seems like a little hiccup in fuel delivery. See if we can limp it home.
Well, that wasn't such a chore now, was it?
We almost made it. We did get it running, as you guys saw, but we didn't quite make it home. Ran into a little trouble.
Little bit. Namely, the truck kept dying on us every 10 minutes.
In the middle of downtown Wilton.
And then in the middle of a very busy highway.
We ended up chaining it up to the back of my truck and taking it home. We didn't want to sit out there all night or anything.
It was getting cold and there were wolves.
It was pretty dark.
And I was hungry.
Yeah. But hey, you know, that's the realism that is Garage X.
Yeah.
We're not going to pretend that we won this one.
We're not going to pretend that we did everything right or that
No.
we know what we're doing.
But it turns out it was a fuel delivery issue. We checked the fuel pump this morning to see if it was the fuel pump had gone bad.
I thought it was spark. Turns out spark was just a red herring.
But in fact, it was just this little inline filter, plugged solid.
Which, by the way, is completely redundant. The truck doesn't even need it. We literally took it out of the truck, threw that piece of junk away, and it runs great now. It spins like a top, purrs like a cheetah. It's the bee's knees, if you get my meaning.
So the next step is we're going to take the parts out of it that we need, and we'll get rid of the rest. I don't think there's anything there we need.
Yeah, flotsam and jetsam. Good riddance to bad garbage.
Yeah, the body's pretty bad.
Yes,
So
very bad.
get the training, get the axle, and keep moving.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Also, it would be a lot of work, and we all know how Steve feels about hard work, and lots of it. That's a no-no.
And a big thank you to Pine Motor Parts for the donation of the battery that made all the difference in the world getting that truck home.
Pine Motor Parts, home of the coldest root beer in town, if your town happens to be Nashua.
That's not true.
It's very true. They got a whole cooler root beers.
Oh,
very
that's true.
refreshing drink. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They got
There
orange
you go.
soda too.
They do.
Yep.
Well, good night, folks.
See y'all. Shut the door.
Oh, can we do that? Can you shut the door?
Hey Garage X viewers, need some more Garage X? Comments, complaints, questions? Check us out on the internet. Send us an email, check out our Facebook, and definitely check out our YouTube for outtakes and other goodies.
In the throes of these 4 rooms, bright and iron and withered fumes.
Let us begin work on this project. The work is beginning now on the project. Working is imminent. We are just about to get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. That's it.